it's me, the champ. So glad you could join me again for another episode.
Up on City Hall Station, which is just blocks away from Booker's Barbecue Grill and Crab Shack.
A little hungover.
What's the deal?
Well, the whole Patron thing, we had to do the old suck, swallow, and spit all night long. So I'm recovering.
I beg your
I'm
pardon?
in recovery.
There we are.
How are you, Jake?
I'm good, Gerry. How are you doing, buddy?
Here's to the West Coast. Nice to see you, buddy.
You know what? During one of our longer bits, I'm going to go run over and get one. Sorry about that. I wasn't ready. But last week we started the show off. You gave me a bit of a zinger, didn't you? Right off the top. And I'll refresh for those of you that maybe listened to the last program. Gerry said, "Hey, bro, you know who talked about you after the podcast when I was out in the street?" I went, "Who?" He said, "Nobody." So I thought that was good. So I thought that's a new feature. So every day, now it's my turn to give you a zinger.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Go ahead.
So next week you can give me a zinger. Well, I started thinking about, maybe nobody knows me as Jake in Calgary and wherever you are in Canmore. And I thought, I'm going to go around and see if anybody knows Gerry Forbes. So I was in the Starbucks and I mentioned your name, Gerry Forbes, and a fat lady got up and started singing.
Maybe if you started writing it on everybody's cups, then they would know. I went to a wedding on the weekend, and there was a lady there who brought a whole bunch of BC Bud. So everybody was walking around like zombies. It was like they had the Alberta liquor store one, then they had the BC Bud, and the BC Bud was the champ. Lots of fun.
Absolutely. I grew some last year on my deck. Kind of a novice, but it was outstanding. Had a good time. Yeah. Of course, I live in a condo complex, and Strata was complaining that there was a dead skunk running around somewhere. They couldn't figure out where it was, but I'm now admitting that, so they may come back and get me. And right here at the Tsawwassen Golf and Country Club, I want to say hi to two ladies that take care of this place. They're called the Bush Girls. They trim better bush. Nobody trims bush the way they do. No, nobody.
Could not get along without them.
Yeah, ask for the Bush Girls when you entered the Tsawwassen Springs Golf and Country Club.
Now it's kind of a sad thing because the last three podcasts we've done in memoriam, and we have to do it again today. Of course, Charlie Watt, when he passed away, we did a nice tribute to him. And then Norm Macdonald, which I thought was a great tribute. It was some of his best stuff. And since then, I've just gone even deeper, found a bunch more of his stuff, and he was such a funny man. But a friend of Jake and myself that we used to go to all the time for advice, he'd always, tell us stuff like, guys, don't bite off more than you could chew, things like that. It's Terry the Prophet. And Terry, anytime we had a problem, we would call and say, what would you do, Terry? And Terry would give us the answer. And he was probably the brightest man we know. But as he's aged, I don't know that some of his advice is that good. But unfortunately, I don't want to diss the guy, seeing he's passed away. But I think when he sent Jake and I the last tape that he did, I think it was some of Terry's best work. But unfortunately, let's just show it to the people and see what they think. All right,
yeah. Bad day.
It's important for men to remember that as women grow older, it becomes harder for them to maintain the same quality of housekeeping as when they were younger. When you notice this, try not to yell at them. Some are oversensitive, and there's nothing worse than an oversensitive woman. My name is Terry. Let me relate how I handled the situation with my wife, Lorraine. When I retired a few years ago, it became necessary for Lorraine to get a full-time job along with her part-time job, both for extra income and for the health benefits that we both needed. Shortly after she started working, I noticed that she was beginning to show her age. I usually get home from the golf club about the same time she gets home from work. And although she knows how hungry I am, she almost always says that she has to rest for a half hour or so before she starts dinner. I don't yell. Instead, I tell her to take her time and just wake me when she gets dinner on the table. I generally have lunch each day at the men's grill at the golf club, so eating out is not an option in the evening. I'm ready for some home-cooked grub when I hit the door. She used to do the dishes as soon as we finished eating, but now It's not unusual for them to sit on the table for several hours after dinner. I do what I can by diplomatically reminding her several times each evening that they won't clean themselves. And I know she really appreciates this, as it does seem to motivate her to get them done before she goes to bed. Another symptom of aging is complaining. I think, for example, she will say that it is difficult for her to find time to pay the monthly bills during her lunch hour. But boys, we take them for better or worse, and just smile and offer encouragement. I tell my wife to stretch it out over 2 or 3 days. That way she won't have to rush so much. I also remind her that missing lunch completely every now and then wouldn't hurt her any, if you know what I mean. I think tact is one of my strong points. When doing simple jobs, she seems to think she needs more rest periods. She had to take a break when she was only half finished mowing the front lawn. I try not to make a scene. I'm a fair man. I tell her to fix herself a nice big cold glass of freshly squeezed lemonade and just sit for a while. And as long as she's making one for herself, she may as well make one for me too. I know that I probably look like a saint in the way that I support Lorraine. I'm not saying that showing this much patience and consideration is easy. Many men will find it difficult. Some will find it impossible. Nobody knows better than I do how frustrating women get as they get older. However, guys, if you just use a little more tact and less criticism of your aging wife because of this article, I will consider that doing this was well worth it. After all, we're put on this earth to help each other.
So sad. Rectum perforated.
Wow. That's crazy. Report states he was found with a Callaway extra long 50-inch Big Bertha driver jammed right up his old Hooper.
Right up the old wazoo. St. Terry.
Yeah. Cause of death listed
COVID-19. Yeah. We miss Terry, but not all heroes wear capes. And Terry was the greatest.
The way you bring things together, Gerry, and in memoriam is it's touching.
Well, I'm just hoping you or I aren't one of them next week if your wife happens to get a hold of that tape. I remember Jake doing his stand-ups. He was funny as shit. And then he left the computer open one day, and they found him dead in Tawasin. Yeah.
I didn't know Strychnine worked that quickly. Here's your coffee, honey.
A little trip to my buddy Mike Richards, who I was talking to this week. If you want to, you can see Mike. He's on the Twitch, does a show on Twitch, and he's on Raw Mike Richards on Twitter. And
he's
very
a talented
funny guy.
Talented son of a gun.
And he sent me a couple more Seinfelds that he had that he had done on my show. It's funny because I left Toronto. He was staying in Toronto to work, and then I got him out here to get on the air with me, and we did some stuff together. And then he got hired by the Fan 960 out here. And had a great career out here. But in the meantime, while he's working for the other radio station, he's doing bits for me. That's the kind of guy he is. Here's one of his Seinfelds. Yeah.
I love that.
So what's the deal with Oscar Mayer? That's a creepy section. I think this guy's inventing mates. Pimento loaf. I don't recall seeing pigs with olives and SpaghettiOs growing out their sides. And do food stands at the airport know what the prices are everywhere else in the world? Tuna sandwich, $17. Tuna's very rare here. So what's with the heavy security at the old people's condos? Are people stealing old people? Are they trying to escape these old people? What's the deal there? What exactly do you need to get a taxi driver's license? I think all you need is a face.
It's great. He would come on. He was on Fan 960, and then he would come on and do bits on my show. And then both our bosses, they say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, he's my friend. We used to work together. We'd still like to work together. Who gives a shit?" So they let us do it. So I'd go on his show, and he'd come on my show.
Well, I mean, he's good enough that you would think it's actually Gerry, and they would ask you, "How the hell did you get him on?" We used to do that. We used to do that with Ford and Toronto Mayor, and Rob Ford. And I'm telling you, people believed, and he would just talk about legalizing marijuana, going down to the square and having a pot smoke in. And it was big funny. And I never took the mask off the Lone Ranger. I didn't think I had to.
No, he was pretty transparent. He just all you have to do is let him go. When he was on Jimmy Kimmel, the same thing.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah.
Just
Very
ask
good.
him the questions, and he'll tell you any answer. Well, Roy, one more mic here.
Oh, you want one? Yeah. Hey, Lee.
Jerry!
Yeah.
Jerry!
Yeah.
It's Jerry!
Hi, Jerry. How are you, buddy?
You got to hand it to the Chinese. They're sticking with the chopsticks. Oh, they've seen the fork. And what's the deal with the cab drivers and the BO? How long are these shifts? Are they driving till they die? Because that's what it's starting to smell like in the back of these cabs. And what's with dry cleaning? There's no dry cleaning. Scraping some dried ketchup off your jacket with a fingernail, now that's dry cleaning. And what's the deal with chicken of the sea? There's no chickens in the sea. We know it's tuna. The advertising people think maybe they don't want to eat fish. Let's tell them it's chicken.
Got to get him on the show. We got to get him on the show one day.
He's spot on. Absolutely spot on. I'm pretty excited about the new film that's coming out.
Yeah, it's a new Michael Jackson film.
Michael Jackson film entitled The Glove.
Yeah.
They had backing 3 years ago. It kind of stopped, and they were re-back. So it is coming out in March. Production will start back in March. And it's a crazy story. It stars Mortimer and Vic Reeves. And they go looking. Like, rent is down. There are two guys living together. They can't pay their rent. Things are bad. They're hungry. So this, I guess it was the guy that owned the building, said, look, I'll tell you what. Never mind about paying anymore. I just need you to go out and find Michael Jackson's glove. Because apparently it's got magical power. And that's the whole. So it's a road. It's, they jump out. It's a road trip kind of film. It sounds very funny.
I'm looking forward to it, and then I think the kind thing that you did too, because you had such insight into Michael Jackson, and you knew a lot of people with the family. You knew a lot of the lawyers that looked after stuff, and the doctor, and you had a connection to him in heaven.
I did.
And this may be in the film. We're not sure.
I hope they put it in the film because there was a lot of Michael Jackson jokes that were around, and I think when he can laugh at himself.
Oh,
from heaven.
Even more adorable.
It is even more adorable.
Yes.
Okay, let's roll a few.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
Do you know what they did? They cremated me. And they melted me into Lego just so the kids could play with me. Simone!
Oh, let's just keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Well, let's go around because I think I just threw a shovel full of these in. Let's just keep them running. Keep running, rookie. Back to.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
How do I pick my nose? From a catalog, stupid.
Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
Why do I like 28-year-olds? Because there were 20 of them.
Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
You know why I think I passed away? It's because I went to too many fast food restaurants. I had too many small fries.
We'll probably end the show off with a few more. I don't think we're done with Michael Jackson.
I think that'd be a nice addition to the movie.
Yeah, and you got to hand it. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.
And we can't even say Lord knows where that glove has been because you just told us.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what? Just on TV, and this is going completely off script because you're such an organized son of a bitch. I mean, listen, you're more organized because you do come from a programming family. Yes. I know Marty's got his ears on right now. He sent me a note again the other day. Listen, if you're doing comedy that was done back in the 80s and 90s, you must progress and transition into the year 2021. Thanks, Marty. I'm really working on that right now. I don't know if I can. But there's a new show out. I don't know if you saw The Dark Side of the Ring, the wrestling, because you're a wrestling fan, right?
Yes. Matter of fact,
have you seen the promo for that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh my God.
Owen Hart was a friend of mine, and I'm still friends with Martha. And watching that one, I was glued to the TV. And when you see all the stuff that went on behind the scenes and all the people that died of steroids, and there's a long list. I bet you there's at least 25 guys that have packed it in after they gave their life to wrestling. And that thing just rips it right up, doesn't it?
It sure does. And Jake the Snake Roberts, back in the day, I did WrestleMania 2 in Toronto. So I got to know a lot of these guys. And he came to Halifax. And his name was Jake. Mine was Jake Edwards. His was Jake Roberts. So we had a thing with one of the big sponsors, and I believe it was Tim Hortons. But we were all going to go meet Jake the Snake. All the little Jake the Snake fans are going to go down there and meet him at the Tim Hortons. And, it's a big deal. We had the remote set up, ready to go. Everybody's ready, but there's no Jake. So he calls up 10 minutes before he's supposed to go on. He said, I can't come in, bro. Can't come in. What happened? Well, the snake got loose, and it got in the medicine cabinet, and I'm cut to shit. My hands are all cut up. I'm cut to shit. I can't come in. I'm going, come on. The snake got in the medicine cabinet? Like, I believe you were in the medicine cabinet.
I think he was probably in the medicine cabinet. That was the problem. That's what ended his career.
Yeah,
we ran into him about 7 years ago. He was doing a cross-country tour. He's doing comedy now. He's doing a sit-down wrestling comedy show that's gone across the country. And he still looks pretty good. I mean, he's old, obviously, but he looks pretty good. And was a great guest to have on the show. Stayed around for autographs for everybody and was a real nice guy.
Yeah, you should have passed that along to him when he was down in Halifax. Cocaine is a hell of a drug there.
Yeah, it's not good. I got to tell you how I met this guy. This guy's name is Phil McCrackin. So we had a contest on the radio, and the radio contest was the worst name in the telephone book back in the old Yellow Pages. So I came across the name Phil McCrackin, and I looked into it, and there was another guy by the name of Stu Pittass. So I checked him out, and he was fake. Stu Pittass had just put the name in the telephone book, but I checked out Phil McCrackin, and he was real. So I said, does anybody know Phil McCrackin? They go, there's streets named after him in Airdrie, just outside of Alberta, named after his family. So I had a big cake done up with an ass and a bunch of shit coming out of it, and we had a Phil McCrackin day. And Phil came in. Phil came in wearing his homeless tuxedo. He had a couple of garbage bags on. He was kind of a crazy guy. You would have got quite a kick out of Phil. So Phil started coming on the show, and he would just call from time to time. And so we made up a song for him because he lived in Crossfield, which is a small town of 3,000 people just outside of Airdrie. And we called him the mayor of the Crossfield. We played the mayor. Was it Mayberry RFD? I guess that was the name of the show. So we played the theme from that, and we put Phil McCrackin, the mayor of Crossfield, in it. So the mayor of Crossfield sued me. The mayor of Crossfield said, yeah, cease and desist. You can't call him the mayor, because she was going to meetings and people were saying, well, the mayor of Crossfield is Phil McCrackin. I hear him on the Gerry Forbes show all the time. So they got into a big fight. She sends me the lawyer's letter to do a cease and desist. So I said, well, screw her. I get my friend Tony from Spalumbo's. We take a huge barbecue out there and $5 bills, and we run Phil for mayor against her. We go to the gas station. Yeah, we go to the gas station. We have a barbecue every morning for a week, handing out $5 bills to people who live in Crossfield, and Phil beat her. Phil did not want to be the mayor, but he won. So Phil was the mayor of Crossfield for 4 years because of some stupid radio gag we had. So he never let me. He never let me live it down. So he used to call the show all the time. Here we go.
What's going on, Phil?
Time out well.
Not too much. I've got a hell of a good little story for you this morning.
All right.
Couple cannibals, dad and the son, were out looking for lunch, hiding behind a bush. Skinny guy walks by. The kid goes, Daddy, get that one? He says, no meat in the bones. Great big fat lady walks by. Daddy, can get that one? Dad says, no, it's too big to drag home. Beautiful woman comes by. Goes, Daddy, you get that one? Yeah, we'll take her home and eat your mother.
Classic.
So Phil would call twice a week. Here's another one of Phil, just calling up to give us hell.
Big Jer.
Yeah,
You know what? I had me a patient apparently sitting in the waiting room.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and he was just reading wonderful little books they leave there that are most entertaining, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you're sick, you want to read a book about how sick the next guy was.
Well, absolutely.
Well, he's sitting there, and all of a sudden, one of his buddies comes in, an old acquaintance. He looks over and he goes, "Hey, Bob, what are you doing here?" Bob says, "Well," he says, "I'm here for a prostate examination." And the guy says, well what's a prostate exam? And he says, "Well, basically, I piss like you talk."
There you have the mayor of Crossfield.
Oh my God, that's true. That's a true story.
That's a true story. Phil McCrackin. Actually, we ran him because of his stupid name. We paid off the town, and we had a barbecue, and he beat the mayor, and the mayor was super pissed.
That is awesome. It's funny how you go around the internet and you're looking for stuff, and all of a sudden we came up with this rooster sound. I mean, you've grown up on the farm. You've been around farmyards. In the morning the rooster's crowing away.
Yeah.
Well, this horny bastard rooster. I'll let you listen. This is a real rooster, and he just goes
you know
on.
What? You know what's cool? This is the year that anybody who was born in the year of the rooster, this is supposed to be their year. So this will be kind of a tribute to them.
Okay, exactly. Let's hear this rooster. We'll call him Randy.
Allison Chains should have grabbed that guy to open the show for them.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because we just started adding to all the classic rock songs. I worked on a classic rock station, and this rooster, Randy, was very popular. We always used to like to jump on, Led Zeppelin and all those things, you and I, and intro songs.
Yeah.
And we had the rooster do a bunch of high-pitched notes and just let it rip. So we've got 3. Let him rip.
That'll scramble your eggs, eh? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got some more too, Rookie. Just roll them out, buddy.
Yeah.
Roll them.
I like that better than the original.
I do too. It's so good. Oh man,
we might want to take him on the road, Jake. Just grab a rooster, grab him by the balls, and then just let him.
Oh man, I'm already dragging an old cock around, so I don't need that.
Yeah, 2 old cocks ain't gonna help anybody. All right, COVID time, and nobody can go anywhere, nobody can do anything. We had a contest, and we called it Full House for a trip to Vegas. And this would be the COVID nightmare from hell. The deal was you had 92 minutes to get as many people in your house that you don't know as possible, and you can use any way. You can grab your friends if you want, but anybody going by in a car, anybody walking by, anybody on a bus, get them into your house, and we're going to count them. We'll give you 92 minutes to do it, and here's what happened.
Gerry Forbes' Toughest Contest, Las Vegas edition. Calgary's Best Rock, CJ92, rocks.
All right, Gerry Forbes' Toughest Contest, Vegas edition, Full House. We're at Blake's house. Where the hell are we, by the way? We're in the middle of nowhere, but there's a whole bunch of people right now. They're all in the house right now. We're about to go in there. We're going to count everybody. And if you forward this email, by the way, this YouTube that you're looking at right now.
Big chance for you to win $500 cash, which will come in handy from Roof Bright. Great guys down there.
All right, I'm here with Jade. We are at his place, and he's hoping to go.
Are these all of your closest friends?
Yes and no.
How many of these people do you actually know?
I know a lot of people.
As you can tell, they're his very best friends, and he's hoping to go to Vegas. We'll keep you posted.
Free beer!
Free beer over here. There's minivans coming by, and we're looking to win this contest in our quadrant.
I hope he's got a lot of people over there, because I have tons of people!
Not at all. I just saw the free beer sign and I was there.
Nice.
And we're going to go in there right now, and we're going to count everybody, and we're going to win!
Woo!
All right, it's head-to-head. Gerry Forbes' Toughest Contest, Vegas edition. We're going for the full house. You know, full house. The most people in the houses. Jason and Blake are out there right now. You know what? We're going to talk to everybody. Okay, we've done the counting. Is that right?
We have
done the counting. All right, JD, go ahead and announce the total, brother. What is the total for Blake's house?
Our total, sir, is 67 of the craziest partiers in the middle of nowhere I've ever seen in my entire life.
Nice. Good for you guys.
That means that Jason won!
Oh!
We have 85 people here, including the children who held the signs inviting everyone to come for free beer!
87!
You've never traveled anywhere before, Jay. You're going to Vegas. How do you feel?
I don't know. Tabarnak de ski!
I think he said in French, Viva Las Vegas.
I'm pretty sure that was it, yeah.
Calgary's Best Rock.
Say,
Good
back
Lord.
when you have some fun, eh?
Oh, my God. A Quebecer ended up in Calgary.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Had his
Oil
kid
rig
out there
worker.
with a sign going, "Come on in, get some free beer." So we got to
Boy.
meet all his neighbors and the guys from Bylaw. They came by too, and they were pretty good sports about it. But free beer at 6 a.m. Who's not going to show up, right?
Boy, that a proud moment for the kids. And there's
Yeah.
the dad. Hey, that's a proud moment right there. That's fantastic.
It was a full house for a full house, and away he went. We had a great time in Vegas.
Hey, listen, if you're just joining the show, you're probably wondering exactly what we were talking about with Michael Jackson. But Michael Jackson, there's a new movie coming out, not your typical bio, kind of movie. This one is a road trip movie. Two guys go out and try to find Michael Jackson's glove. And
It's great. It's just two normal guys.
Yeah.
Just two run-of-the-mill guys trying to find the friggin' glove. They try and trace it down, and they started filming this movie. They had to stop. They're starting again, and it should be out probably sometime in March, and it'll be streaming on Netflix.
That's going to be awesome. And of course, I thought it was appropriate to get a hold of Michael Jackson. I'm, a very spiritual guy.
You have connections, Jake.
I do. Right upstairs, the big fella let me through the gates, and Michael Jackson wanted to share some of his best jokes from heaven.
God bless him.
And, Jerry, you and I laugh at each other. We laugh at ourselves. We laugh at each other. So, Michael Jackson jokes from heaven for you right here with Jake and Gerry.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
for all my fans who miss me, I've got some good news. I will always be with you because I'm not biodegradable. Simone!
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
I didn't die from overdosing on propofol. I died having a stroke in the children's ward, silly.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
Man, I haven't been this stiff since Macaulay Culkin spent the night at Neverland Ranch.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
I didn't die from overdosing on propofol. I had an allergic reaction from eating 12-year-old nuts, silly.
Oh, that Michael, he's a killer, eh?
He's a killer. I want to thank Mark Tucker, too, my producer, who still has a gig, believe it or not. And your guy, Mike Richards, and people who send in stuff that still work for other people.
Yeah.
They just want to be on the show, Gerry.
And it's excellent. We'll get them on. Keep sending the stuff.
Well, I sent you something the other day.
I went, holy
I
shit.
can't even believe that I was doing this as a joke to you. We're not supposed to show this.
No, this is great. And I saw something.
Are you sure?
To it in person. Oh, yeah. I was at the Calgary Zoo and we saw two turtles having the slowest sex in the history of the world. And the kids were just killing themselves, pointing, and every mom and dad was screaming and yelling. But you can't beat gorillas. Here we go.
Oh my God! Oh no! Don't look, Josie.
He's got at the bottom.
Oh damn! That was great. Good Lord.
Here's a thought for you, Gerry. If man evolved from monkeys and apes, why are there still monkeys and apes?
That's right, absolutely.
So if anybody says I'm going home to have monkey sex, that's code.
There you have it right there. Yes, sirree. I didn't see any exchange of money, so I think everything's okay there.
Oh, my
Fun
God.
to explain to the kids, though, isn't it?
Oh, my. But did you see them at first? Oh, my God, it's so sweet. They're going to hug and kiss each other.
Honey, how was the zoo today with the children? Well, I'll tell you.
We'd like to reenact that tonight, honey.
Yes, indeed. Let's get her done. Had a guy on the show, very talented musician, and he would come on from time to time and just perform. I managed to find one of his stage shows, and this was one of the most popular songs that we played on the radio. And I don't think you can play it on the radio anymore, but you can play it here. It's a tribute to Special Ed and Stephen Lynch.
You know him? Okay. I loved him dearly, even if he was a little bit, thank you, sir, special. Here we go. Oh, by the way, those of you who've seen my show before, I'm going to do some of the old favorites, but I'm throwing in some new shit tonight, so pay close attention. Like this one. Sing along if you know the words. But I threw some new shit into this one too, so listen up. When I was a boy of 10, I had a very special friend. Ed was kind with good intent, but just a little different. Oh, Special Ed. His mama dropped him on his head. Now he's not so bright instead. He's a little bit special. Just a little bit special. We played tag and he'd get hurt. I'd play soldier, he'd eat dirt. I liked math and the spelling bee. Ed like talking to a tree. Oh, special ed. His mama dropped him on his head. Now she keeps him where? In the shed. 'Cause he's a little bit special.
Holy God.
I ran track, hung out in malls, and ran headfirst into walls. I had girly girls in lots of clothes, and had names for all his toes, like Larry and Terry and Jerry and Barry and Ronnie and Bobby and Ricky and Mike. And if I love a girl, who cares who you like it? Special ed. dropped him on his head. Now he thinks he's a piece of bread, 'cause he's a little bit special. I thought college life was great. It could count from 1 to 2. I like people and the party scene. Ed was scared of the vacuum cleaner. Special ed. His mama dropped him on his head. Now he thinks he can drive his bed, 'cause he's a little bit. Just a little bit. One day talking to special ed, he grabbed a brick and he swung at my head. And as he laughed at me, that's when I knew that special ed just made me special too.
Oh.
I'm strong like Hulk. My shoes hurt. Mr. Show, now I laugh as I count bugs. I give strangers great big hugs. Next to me, it is fine. Yeah, he's a fucking Einstein. Oh, special ed in me. Now we're not right in the head, you see. Now we're not so bright. Instead, we're a little bit special. Just a little bit special. That fucker Ed made me special. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Everybody. Special.
Oh my God. Oh,
regular guest and funny as hell.
Wow.
He's got a bunch of them. I'll be digging those up for us because he's got great songs.
Good Lord. You know who I really liked at the start of the show, and I'm not sure if we have any Michael Jackson from heaven left, and if we don't, the Prophets. I mean, that was a sad.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
Can anyone name my last smash hit? It was The Floor, silly.
And now the Bro Jake Show presents Jackson Jokes from Heaven.
Does anybody know why I haven't been buried yet? Because it's against the law to bury that much plastic, stupid.
Hey, before we get to the champ, we did promise last week that we would talk about the shittiest people we've ever had on the show.
Yeah.
Mine, probably the top guy. Usually the big stars are great. The guys that are not such big stars are not so great. So I had Mike Bullard on. I'm not sure if anybody will know who that guy is.
Oh, my God.
He was a Canadian talk show host for about a cup of coffee. He was on CTV, I believe, and they moved him to Global. Then they canceled the show, and then his life went for a shit after some problems with women in Toronto. But he came on the show, and CTV was, we're having this our big star on. Our big star is, he's got an evening talk show, and I'm going through the names of all the guys in the States. They're like, no, it's Mike Bullard. I go, Mike Bullard. Okay, so when's the show on? It's on CTV, don't you watch it? And I go, well, no, I'll do a little, I'll do a little Googling and see what the hell's going on. Oh, that guy. Okay. He used to work for the telephone company, and then he became, well, he's still with Bell, I guess, at that point. He became he became a talk show host. And I had him on, and when I was teeing him up, I knew he'd be listening coming in. I said, like, we're going to get along great because we're both bald and fat. And I said, we've got something in common. Well, that just pissed him off. He came in just a terrible mood, and they because I thought CTV was having this big star come in, I had the entire thing catered. There was chicken, there was ribs, there was beer, there was wine, there was desserts. And he came in and he goes, "I'm just wondering why you would diss my band leader with ribs because he's black." And I went, "Oh, you just said it. Is that the kind of shit you're doing on the show?" And that's how it started and went downhill from there. He actually said that, and I let him.
He didn't.
I let him hang himself.
Oh my God!
I said, "You want to do that joke again? Try it again."
Well,
he was out the door. I said, "You know what? You're an idiot. You can fuck off." And we got rid of him. He was out the door in about 2 minutes, and that was CTV's big star. Went to global and then bombed.
Well, when the second time I won the Major Market Personality of the Year in the year 2000, I went down to Toronto. Of course, they have the big gig down there and stuff, right? Tragically Hip were on stage, and they announced. And back then, they would just announce it. You're out drinking beer, and all of a sudden,
up you'd go.
Up you'd go. So I'm up there, and I'm just out of my mind. I remember going through the side of the door, and there was one of the great agents of our time. I'll give you his initials. Ralph James.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Ralphie boy. He gave me something just before I went on stage. And I waltzed straight out onto the stage, and I was just, I can't fucking believe it. To all the program directors out there that didn't believe in me, here's this for you. Come on, boy. So anyway, we get out. Mike Bullard's hosting the thing. So we get off the stage, and we're going up in the elevator. The Tragically Hip are in the elevator. Mike Bullard's there. I'm there. And my buddy Jim Conrad. You know Jim, the big voice guy.
Jim, yeah.
Big voice. Jim, the Great Barbarian.
Yes.
And so he's got 2 rum and cokes in his hand. The elevator doors, we can't get him in there. And Mike Bullard's right in the center. The doors are starting to close. I said, "Jim, I'll meet you up in the penthouse." They're starting to close. And Jim leans in. He goes, "Hey, Mike Bullard, you're not that funny."
The door closes. See you later.
The Hip are losing their shit. And Mike Bullard, who the fuck is that guy? Who is that guy? Anyway, that's my Mike Bullard story.
Yeah, and then the other guy that I had on, and I didn't know till later. I just thought, what a moron. But then I found out what a bad problem he had. Chris Kattan, the guy from Saturday Night Live, this was him. I asked him a question. I go, "Chris, you okay?" He was. Wasn't he Manimal too? He looked like Manimal that morning.
Yeah.
He was so hopped up on painkillers because I guess he screwed his back up on SNL, but he was on more than that. He took every drug known to man, and then the guy running the comedy club was stupid enough to still bring him in, and he was just Well, the show sounds like it's going to be great tonight, Chris. Thanks for coming in. We'll see you later, buddy.
Yeah, there's guys that surprise you. I remember Tom Arnold being on, and he was here in the city the whole time, running around, and he was pretty hopped up on some stuff. And I think he just recently separated from Roseanne, and he wasn't in a very good mood. So we decided to have him on again the next day. He was a lot better because I think he got some better. He got some better stuff.
Got some better stuff. I had him on the air. He was pretty good with us. He came in and we gave him a football sweater and shit like every radio station does.
Mm-hmm.
But this is probably on the same tour that you saw him. And
probably
I did a bunch of digging on him, and he had a great story that how when Roseanne stabbed him, she stabbed him in the back with a knife. She stabbed him in the back, literally, and with a knife. They got the Weight Watchers account, and he came home one day, and she'd finished off about 7 boxes of Weight Watchers cookies, and she'd probably put on about 16 pounds. So they got fired the first week because she ate the entire supply for the month, and he thought that was pretty funny, and she didn't think that was that funny. So when he turned around and grabbed all the cookies and knocked them off the table, she stabbed him, and that was the start of the end for those guys.
Well, relationships they go that way. You know, are we going to run the prophet again? Is he back on here? I see him down here, or did we just switch that?
No, we moved him up. We moved him up.
Oh, you did? Okay, because
hey, you can't bring Terry back from the dead.
Yeah, he's dead. And if you're a prophet,
Terry's
you should have realized what exact time you were going to die. Do you ever have anybody come in and read palms on the air and do that kind of thing?
No.
We did, and I always get nervous, you know. And I remember we were in Halifax at Q104, and we had this entertainment director that came on. Jane Fondle was her name. And so Jane's on. She's doing my palm reading. She goes, "Oh, you're going to be dead at 50. You're not going to make it to 50." What?
You showed her.
Look, yeah, I freaking showed her ass. But she's dead now anyway. So, and then Jane Fondle and Jane was, I guess, 26, 27. She said, "You're going to be gone at 30. Well, Jane Fondle loses it on the air. I mean, starts crying, runs off on the air as we're on. And I just said to this bitch, "What are you doing? Like, how can you go out and talk and tell people you're going to die? How about this? You know, the signs on your palm aren't looking that good, but there's ways that you can counteract that."
That's right.
I noticed. You know what I mean? Let's try to live a little
Then
healthier.
you throw the sponsor in. Yeah, right there.
Oh, my God.
Pepto-Bismol, there's a good chance you won't be dead at 50.
How about some life insurance?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, my God.
Does our friend make a champ appearance this week?
He did. He's pretty irate with something that happened. He was out doing some shopping. It's Mrs. Champ's birthday coming up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Champ is all excited. Let's hear the Champ. Come on, Champy.
Everybody, it's me, the Champ, on the Jake and Gerry show. Every time I get a chance to come on here with these two numbskulls, it's always a privilege. Can you believe that these two asswipes actually got into the Hall of Fame? They must have had to go low into the stink hole to get these two guys. Anyway, nice to be here, boys. But I got to tell you, Mrs. Champ has got a birthday coming up. It's a big number. I don't want to say it. You never give away a woman's age, but it's a big number. So I decided I was going to go and buy her a purse, right? This is something that most guys don't do, but trust me, guys, it's unbelievable. They love it. I go in. I'm looking at purses, and I mean, have you seen the price of these things? There's Prada, there's Coach, Louis Vuitton. These things cost a lot of money. And I'm just kind of scratching my head saying, geez, am I going to drop a couple $1,000s on a purse for Mrs. Champ? So this guy comes out, Mr. Hootie, Flutie, Tootie, recognizes me and says, "Hey, Champ, like I've been to a lot of your fights. I know Mrs. Champ. I've actually even had a drink at a bar with you guys. You don't remember that, and I know you had a couple of drinks. I think she kind of loosened up. I think she kind of likes me. I don't get her a black purse. I think she takes it in the brown." I said, "Pardon?" He said, "I think she takes it in the brown." Well, I head faked him with a picture of Michael Kors, autographed. Michael knows me, so he's beside himself. He goes to grab it. I come around with a 5-finger leather strap bitch slap, and he's on the ground, right there on the ground. I come in like a fiddler's elbow, too, begging for a right. I hit him so many times with the left, and I said, "How's that, pal? How's that, Mr. Light in the loafers? Do you think Mrs. Champ takes it in the brown enough for you?" Ever since I've been the champ. On the two numbskull Gerry and Jake show. Now, you guys get back at it. I'll see you next week.
Jeez.
He's mad. The Champ sure knows a lot of designers. I'm pretty impressed.
He really does.
Jake probably told him, went through his wife's purse there and went through the old cupboard and went, "Okay, she's got every one of those guys."
She does. She absolutely
Speaking of the
does.
Champ, I want to tell people, don't miss the Muhammad Ali documentary on PBS. It's amazing. That guy,
Ken Burns.
He's so good, eh?
Yeah, no, that's we did a thing. I don't know if I told you this, but one movie, Chasing Ali.
Yeah.
They had the whole sweatshirts. We got the sweatshirts. He was here. 2 producers from Vancouver. And did I tell you this already? But me having my picture taken with Muhammad Ali.
No.
So all the celebrities, radio guys and TV guys, we got into a lineup, and there was this big tent going on. I went, "Well, you got to go into a tent and get a picture with Muhammad Ali. Why the tent?" Well, they had the tent because they got the flash shutter speed to go really fast, so you couldn't see him shake. And that's what they did. And the picture of me, yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm just leaning down and going, "Hey, champ," and it's just like. I'm kind of a champ myself. He's going, "Yeah, right." Like, you're a champ, all right.
Yeah, he had a great sense of humor. Eh? He was an amazing man.
That I guess would be the most iconic person I've ever had.
My story's not quite as good as yours. I had a piss beside Larry Holmes at the Italian Sportsman Club dinner here in Calgary. I looked over and went, "What a great night!" I go, "I'm having a piss beside the champ." And he's like, "Yeah." Like, I didn't get knocked out. Larry Holmes is a great guy, by the way, too. And although you think that would have been a stupid man, that was a very smart man. He saved all his money, rolled it over into hotels, supermarket chains, and made a ton of great investments. And he's one of the few wealthy guys that's still around that was a boxer.
You know what? This has been a great show. I got to say, Gerry, this has been one of our better shows. And if Charlie Sheen is out there listening, because you don't know who is. Charlie, if you're listening, I've got your wallet.
There you go.
I got your wallet, buddy.
Well, we'll dig more shit up for next week. Have a good one, Jake.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Rookie. Bye-bye. Oh, no.
Here they come again.
Oh, no, not this again. Cut it off.
No.
Oh, my God.
Give Daddy a hug.
Oh, my God.
I guess once you get by the salty taste, it's not that bad. Oh, my God.
Playing football, Joey.
Honey, your lunch is getting hard. Oh, my God.
How's that, banana?